Kenny Davis, Georgetown College. Kenny Davis was named an NAIA All-American in 1969, 1970, and 1971. He is the last small college player to play on a USA Olympic team, as Davis was elected captain of the 1972 U.S. Olympic team by his teammates. He was also a member of the 1970 USA World University team and the 1971 USA Pan American team, thus becoming the only player in USA basketball history to play in the World Games, Pan American Games, and the Olympics. His 3,003 career points is still the all-time record at Georgetown College and ranks second as the most points scored in Kentucky college basketball history. Davis has been inducted into the Georgetown College Hall of Fame and the NAIA Hall of Fame. Kenny Davis, Georgetown College, and inductee into the class of 2020 of the Small College Basketball National Hall of Fame.
When I received this wonderful message from John, I immediately asked my wife a question. I said, in your wildest dreams, did you think I would ever be selected to be a member of the Small College Basketball Hall of Fame? And she didn't answer immediately, which I thought was a little bit strange. And then she finally said, well, Kenny, I probably need to answer that in two parts. The first part is, she said, you've never ever been in my wildest dreams. And the second part is, she said, no. I have been familiar with this Hall of Fame since its inception in 2016 because an opponent of ours and a friend of mine, Travis Grant, was in the first class. So from that time through now, I have listened to and watched the acceptance speech of every member of this Hall of Fame. And what a fantastic group of people it is. And I can tell you now that my name is added to it. I'm extremely humbled and honored. But may also add to you at this same time that I'm not their equal. I'm not equal as a player as a Travis Grant. I'm not equal as a player to Elmore Smith or George Tinsley or Big House Gaines. And I can tell you I certainly am not equal to a John McClendon. Let me share with you why I say that about John McClendon. As a student in the University of Kansas in the 1930s, he was in a swimming physical education class. And because he was an All-American and an African-American, they made him go last, and then they drained the pool. Can you imagine going through that and putting it behind you? But I can tell you, John McClendon put that and all the other things that he suffered behind him. And John McClendon taught me a principle that has helped to guide me in my life. And that principle is this: don't let your yesterdays steal time away from your todays. Yesterday's gone. It's not coming back. It's over. The only thing that matters is today, and John McClendon lived his life that way. And I am fortunate that I was able to work with John McClendon for 20 years as members of the Converse basketball staff. And there was many of occasions when I was in his presence that I often thought about the things that John went through, especially that situation in Kansas. And then I thought about myself and realized that I had never, ever gone through anything like that at all. But yet I still didn't possess the honor, the dignity, and the character that John McClendon did. I can tell you, you are a fortunate person if you go through your life and you become a friend with someone like a John McClendon. John Denver sings a song. And part of the words of that song is, some days are diamonds and some days are stones. Well, Mr. John Denver, because of this wonderful thing that's happening to me here today, it's a diamond day. And I can tell you it's also a diamond day for my wife, Rita. Although I may have never been in her wildest dreams, I can tell you for the past 51 years, she's been in mine. Also, it's a diamond day for our daughter Jill and our son Brian and our grandson Reed and granddaughter Jenny and our son-in-law Heath Barnett. It's also a diamond day for my high school basketball coach. He taught me the game, and he inspired me to go to the next level. And I can tell you there's no one out there that I have more respect and appreciation for than I do Coach Ray Mills. It's also a diamond day for my college basketball coach as well, Dr. Bob Davis. And I believe he was one of the finest college basketball coaches that ever sat on the bench. Let me tell you why I say that. He was a basketball coach at small Georgetown College, and he received an invitation to be the head basketball coach at a SCC university, Auburn University. That don't happen unless you can coach, and he could. It's also a diamond day for my college, Georgetown College, one of the winningest programs in NAIA basketball history. And here tonight to represent Georgetown and me is the Vice President for Athletics, Mr. Brian Evans. Two special people that are not here because they're passed away, and that's my mom and dad. Although limited in formal education, one only the 8th grade and the other one only the 5th, they realized very early in their marriage that the majority of the barriers that keep people from succeeding in this life are those that are self-imposed. And they knew if they could teach me to eliminate those, then the sky could be the limit. And I'm thankful for their love and their example, their encouragement that it has been, and it continues to be. And my mom and dad gave me two of the greatest things that a parent can give a child. They gave me roots, and they gave me wings. And those roots scolded me each time that I thought maybe I was a better person than somebody else was because of the talent that God gave me to play basketball. You see, I've never ever been a better person than anyone else ever will be just because I could play basketball a little bit different. And I can tell you, I will always be grateful for those roots that they established with me on how to treat and respect my fellow man. They also gave me wings. And those wings allowed me to do something that a very few people here in the United States have been able to do. Those wings allowed me to accept an invitation to try out for the 1972 U.S. Olympic basketball team. They took me and 66 others out to Colorado Springs in Colorado, and after 2 weeks out there, I made that team. That's special. That was special. And I can tell you, by making that team, it enabled me to put a piece of cloth across my chest that had the initials USA sewn on in, and walk into a stadium of over 90,000 people and hear them chant, USA, USA, USA. I can tell you, I've never ever had that feeling before or since in walking into those opening ceremonies that day. But sadly, those were the games in Munich, Germany, and a lot of things happened there that should not have taken place. And it was unfortunate what happened. And each and every time, though, that I become discomforted that I don't have that gold medal that my teammates and I won, and by the way, according to the rules that game was played under, we did win. But each and every time that I become discomforted that I don't have that gold medal, I immediately think of those 11 Israeli athletes who were shot, murdered, killed at those Olympic Games. And that puts everything into perspective to me. You see, what happened to our team was unfortunate. What happened to them was tragic. And there's been many times in my life when I have thought what possibly could have been going through those athletes' mind as they were sitting there in that helicopter with their hands and feet completely restrained, and they were looking down at a smoking hand grenade that had less than 60 seconds before it exploded and took them into eternity. I think about that almost every day, and the reason I do is because it could easily have happened to us as it did them. I'm extremely aware that the majority of the wonderful things that have happened to me in my life only happened because I was fortunate enough to live here in the United States. So in closing, let me say that I think that each of us as citizens of this nation should give thanks each night that we're working and living and playing in a country that's as big and beautiful and as good to us as the United States of America is. I've been labeled as being old-fashioned for making that statement. Well, if loving America and trusting in God gives me that description, then I thank you from the bottom of my heart for the nicest compliment you can give me. And hopefully each of you who are here tonight are as grateful as am I to be able to say these 4 words. I am an American. I am an American.